Hi, and welcome to task 23. Today we're learning all about reporting clauses, and basically they're the posh words for who said what in a story. So we're looking at the speech punctuation, so we've got the inverted commas or speech marks, and then it's the screamed Molly bit that we need to look for the thing or the person who said what's been said, and maybe in some cases, if you're super confident, how or what they were doing whilst they said it. So if I read through this now, have a look for the reporting clauses, the bits where somebody said something. And what you might want to do before you do the work is just re-listen to it and jot down some of those reporting clauses to see if you can find them all. I have actually provided the answers for you if you need it. And then your task will be today to write your own sentences using those. You can make them up, make us laugh. So here's chapter 5, The Not Quite Death of Dinking Dings. "Dinking's dead!" screamed Molly as she raced downstairs. "He jumped out of the window." "Oh, my Dinking!" cried Mrs. Dings as everyone dashed into the garden, but there was no one beneath the open window. Mrs. Dings looked suspiciously at a huge tree that grew near the wall and tugged at the rope dangling from it. "Dinking, come down now," she said sternly. Sure enough, Dinking was perched on a branch. In his hand he was holding an egg. "Eat anti-zombom zombalian!" he yelled. "Dinking Dings, don't you dare throw that!" shouted Mrs. Dings. Too late. Dinking threw the bomb straight at Molly. Well, he meant to, but Dinking was a rotten shot. The bomb missed Molly and landed splat right in the middle of Mrs. Coddle's face. "Ah!" yelled Mrs. Coddle. At that moment, Dinking's dad arrived home from work. "Dad, turn back!" Dinking screamed, waving his arms in the air, and then fell out of the tree. Thump! Dinking looked up to find his parents gazing down on him. "Where's the zombalian?" he asked, sitting bolt upright. "Well, if you mean Molly, she's gone home," said Mrs. Dings. "Did she bite me?" was Dinking. "Nobody bit at anyone," said Mr. Dings, puzzled. "Now we're going to the supermarket. Are you coming or not?" Dinking hesitated. Supermarkets were terrifying, but he needed some anti-zombalian equipment. He took a deep breath. "Okay." At the supermarket, Dinking held tightly onto his dad, avoiding the attack trolleys, boomerang bananas, and the gruesome vampire veg. At last, Dinking had what he needed. One waterproof disposable camera with flash, £3.99. One dog chew, 98p. One packet of cooked chicken, £1.99. "Has this stuff anything to do with poor Molly?" asked Mrs. Dings. "Poor Molly? She's a zombalian, a terrible creature from another galaxy," cried Dinking. "She's going to make us all zombalians and take over the whole world." "That's seriously silly," laughed his father. "Come on, let's go home." Dinking sighed. What he needed was serious proof. Okay, so as I was reading it, there were lots of reporting clauses. Let's just have a look at this page. At the top, we've got asked Dinking. Then we've got said Mr. Dings, puzzled. So he said it in a puzzled way. So that makes me, as a reader, say, nobody bit anyone, with more of a puzzled voice. So it gives us a little bit more information about how to say something. So these reporting clauses are those things, tells you who said it, maybe how they've said it, or what they were doing when they've said it. Let's go on to this side. And we've got here, asked Mrs. Dings again. A little bit further down, you've got cried Dinkin. "That's seriously silly," laughed his father. So there's lots of ways you can report on speech, and those are called reporting clauses. So what you've got to do today is have a look at those reporting clauses, try and find as many as you can in the text, jot them down, and then have a go at doing your own. Here I've had a go. Look at this one. "Get out of the way!" screamed Mrs. Pascoe as she rode through the shop on her horse. So remember, I've got my speech marks at the start, my capital letter. I've got my exclamation mark here because I want to say it in a really, really like scared way. And then I've got my closed speech mark. And then I've got the reporting clause. Screamed Mrs. Pascoe. And I've added on an adverbial phrase at the end as she rode through the shop on her horse. Let's have a look at this one. What just happened? Asked Mrs. Waters, sitting bolt upright. She stared in amazement as Mrs. Pascoe hurtled towards the baked beans. So again, look, I've started a new line because it's a new person talking. I've put in my speech marks here. I've put in my punctuation at the end. Let me just show you on my highlighter here. So I've got my speech marks here. I've got my punctuation at the end. I've got my speech marks at the end there. And then I've got asked Mrs. Waters. And I've just said what I was doing at the same time, sitting bolt upright. So hopefully you'll be able to have a look at these just to remind you. There's the speech marks. There's my exclamation mark. There's my closed speech marks. And there's the reporting clause. So today I want you to try and make us laugh. The sentences can be as ridiculous as you like. The main learning though is these reporting clauses. So make sure you're using those really nicely. And obviously try and stick to the speech punctuation that you've learned over the last few days. Have fun and let us know how you get on.